From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, October 26, 2015. Silver is trading at $15.95 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,166 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $285. Antiwar.com reports in weekend moves they said were intended as a message to the Palestinian Authority. The U.S. House of Representatives voted to temporarily freeze $450 million in aid to them and also fined them $80 million for recent criticism of the Israeli government. Officials said that the aid was established under the Oslo Accords on condition that the Palestinian Authority use it to fight terrorism, and said recent violence in the occupied territories made the U.S. doubt that they were sincere about the pursuit of peace with the Israelis. Representative Ed Royce from California said about one-third of the Palestinian Authority's budget comes from foreign aid, and that this means donors have considerable leverage. He suggested other nations could follow the U.S. example and cut aid as well. This seems unlikely, however, as many of the other donors, particularly in Europe and the Middle East, are harshly critical of Israel's crackdown on the Palestinians and probably aren't going to be looking to take out the Palestinians. For over 35 years, Robertson Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the United Auto Workers informed General Motors it will terminate its contract at 11:59 p.m. Sunday, effectively setting a deadline for the first auto workers strike in 8 years. The move is seen as a strategic tactic to keep General Motors and the UAW on task in the talks for a new 4-year contract. If a strike does happen, it would be the first in the auto industry since 2007. The Detroit-based company said it was working with the UAW to address the issues and remain committed to obtaining an agreement that is good for employees and the business. Any deal hammered out would cover GM's 51,000 union members for GM, similar to one reached with Fiat Chrysler last week. Union members at Fiat Chrysler turned down the first tentative agreement, forcing officials back to the negotiating table for a second deal that provides significant pay increases over the next 4 years. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. Reuters reports torrential rainstorms battered Louisiana on Sunday, leaving thousands without power after pounding southeastern Texas as the remnants of Hurricane Patricia converged with a second storm. The heaviest band of rain moved over the Gulf of Mexico, triggering coastal flooding warnings and flash flood watches in southwest Louisiana and soaking New Orleans, according to the National Weather Service. More than 20,000 people were without power in the greater New Orleans area. Rainfall had totaled as much as 7 inches since late Saturday night, and forecasters predicted another 5 inches could fall. The National Weather Service said waterspouts over lakes and tornadoes over land were both possible into the early morning hours. National Weather Service forecaster Gavin Phillips said most of the heavier rain to the west of New Orleans will taper off in the evening, and for far eastern Louisiana it will probably end closer to midnight. The National Weather Service also issued a tornado watch for southeastern Louisiana and coastal Mississippi into early Monday and warned that severe thunderstorms could develop in the region. Tides along the southern coast of Louisiana were expected to be a few feet above normal at high tide due to sustained winds. More than 9 inches of rain swelled rivers and flooded roads around Houston, but no injuries or deaths were reported as flash flood warnings ended. Petroleum refineries around the Gulf Coast, which make up more than 40% of U.S. capacity, also appeared to be largely undamaged. In the Eagle Ford and Permian Basin oil fields of South and West Texas, no major production cuts were reported. While the rains were heavy in Houston, they came after a month-long dry spell, so flooding was relatively limited. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.